Hello, welcome to Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror. Today we're going to talk about blow molds, Halloween blow molds. Originally I was going to cover the whole world of blow molds, but that's just too big for one program. So I divided it into three, and today we're going to talk about blow mold Halloween lanterns. Next Halloween, next year, we'll talk about blow mold candy pails like this. And then probably sometime this season in Basement of Horror, we'll talk about blow mold toys and novelties that are not necessarily Halloween, but are monster related and made of blow mold plastic. But this episode will focus on the lanterns, the light up lanterns. And I think at the end we'll light some up, but trying to light up each one as we go would just take too long, and we'd have to turn off the lights. But at the end we'll light up a few so you can see what they look like when they're plugged in. But let's get started. Okay, so blow mold, Halloween blow molds, there's a few big companies in the world of Halloween blow molds. Empire Plastics, which was founded in 1953. It was also called Carolina Enterprises, and some of their products say Carolina Enterprises, some say Empire Plastics. Union Products, founded in 1946. General Foam Plastics, founded in 1957. And Bayshore, founded in 1946. And Bayshore is also a big name in rubber masks. I have, well, I don't have a lot of Bayshore rubber masks, but I have a few. And they were a competitor with Topstone rubber masks. People who work for Topstone have told me that in the company, in the culture of the Topstone Corporation, the big competitor was Bayshore. That's the one they always talked about, that we have to compete with Bayshore. They saw Bayshore as their primary competition. So, Bayshore, they made a whole lot of things, but as a collector, I think of Bayshore more with rubber masks, but I think a lot of people probably associate them more closely with the blow molds, and they made a number of other products. They were very prolific and very diverse in the different things they made. I think blow mold collectors probably would consider Empire to be the premier manufacturer of Halloween blow molds, although I think probably the Bayshore lanterns are my favorites. Now, one that's not listed there is A.J. Renzi, which made, I think this is an A.J. Renzi. Yeah, so this is A.J. Renzi. And I don't know if A.J. Renzi made lanterns. They made a lot of pails, a lot of candy pails. But I don't know if they made a lot of lanterns. But that's another big company in the world of blow molds. And of course, A.J. Renzi made the Monster Mobile, which is a blow mold toy. But it's not necessarily Halloween, not officially Halloween related. It's not a candy pail, it's not a lantern, it's not orange. It's a toy, it's a novelty. So let's look at some of these. All right, let's start right off. Here is my favorite Halloween blow mold lantern. This is Empire Plastics. So let me so I don't know, I haven't memorized who made what. Is this Bayshore Empire? It's Empire, okay. Empire Plastic Corporation, 1969. It still has a sticker. Has a sticker on the back. So this guy is my favorite lantern. My favorite Halloween lantern. He's often called the Pumpkinheaded Scarecrow, and I have two of these. And I don't know if the other one is in this box or the other box. We'll find out. Let's see here. Oh, I was wondering what was rattling around in there. he's got... Does he have a bulb? No. So here's his wire, and it would have a bulb in it, and it would stick in there. I think I just put it inside of him for safekeeping. I was wondering what's rattling around inside of there. I put it there. Okay, let's put it back. That's a good place for it so it doesn't get lost. Okay, so he's often called the Scarecrow, or the Pumpkin-Headed Scarecrow, or the Pumpkin Man. I kind of think of him as a Pumpkin Man, but I guess he is a Scarecrow. And I think he's just the quintessential classic Halloween lantern. He's so iconic. He's so cute. Everything about him is just perfect. He's charming, he's lovable, and he says Halloween. You look at him and that's Halloween. He's like Mr. Halloween. He's like an ambassador for Halloween. He's nice and friendly, but he's also kind of a little creepy too. I like his big head. His proportions are really cute. He's tipping his hat. He's just cute. He's a cute little guy. Let's put him over here. We won't leave them all out, but we'll leave him out. All right, what else we got here? Now let's see who made this. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head who made all these things. So I'll have to look at them all. People who are like hardcore into collecting these will know right off the top of their head who made what. But I have to look it up. I have to use this magnifying glass and say, where's the company information? Oh, this is embarrassing. I can't find it. Well, all the blow mold collectors are shouting at me now, saying that's a such and such. That's a Bayshore. That's a Empire, or whatever it is. Okay. Well, here he is. We don't know who made him, but he is a pumpkin with a witch's hat, and this does come off. I'm not going to take it off. I'm not going to try to take it off, but I think it does pop off. And some of these have their cords, some don't. I don't know if the cords are contemporary or if they're replacement cords or if they're original cords. Usually the original cords are kind of corroded and brown. You really don't want to use those. Generally with collectors, they don't really care if the cord is original because it's understood that it's kind of a fire hazard to use a 50-year-old electrical cord. So that's usually not a big deal if you've replaced the cord. But let's see, he's got these cute symbols of Halloween on the base: a bat, a black cat, and another bat. You can see right there. And speaking of black cats, you won't see Billy in this episode because before I started shooting, he was tearing the set apart and pulling the tablecloth off and causing havoc. And I said, I just can't have that. So I barred the studio from Billy. He won't be on screen this episode. Hopefully he'll calm down a little bit. He's a very loving, sweet cat. I mean, when I'm at my computer, he's always lying right there, and I'm stroking him. He's purring, and he gets up on his front legs, stretches them out, and he starts pawing at the computer screen, trying to catch the cursor. And so he's a very sweet cat, but when he's down here, he just wants to destroy everything. I can't make a show like that with a cat pulling the cloth and pulling the microphone cable, and I can't do that. So, oh well. So we're not going to see Billy today. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's this guy. It bothers me that I don't know who made this, because it's a very well-known piece. I'm just sorry. I don't know who made it. Oh, let's see. Where should I put him? We'll put him. No, let's put him down here for now. Okay. Here's a similar one. Let's see who made this. Oh, he's kind of dented. Yeah, this is quite a lull while I'm looking for these manufacturer markings. The show just comes to a screeching halt. Yeah. Yeah, if I can't find it quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for it. Okay, so here's this guy, a smirking pumpkin. I mean, he kind of almost looks like an onion, doesn't he? But he's a pumpkin. He's got a nice expression. Here he's in the back. He's kind of unique. He's a little smaller than most blow molds. A little smaller. And just that expression. Most blow mold faces and these pumpkins and things are more basic than that. He's got a lot more personality, a lot more expressiveness than most of these lanterns. He has a very unique face. A little fading, I think. Maybe. Yeah, these things fade over time. You know, if they're used a lot and are exposed to the light, and, you know, they've got a light bulb inside of them. If they get a lot of use, they fade. Or if they're out in the sun, they fade. Okay, let's see here. Okay. All right, so here, this is another kind of blow mold. Wow, I'm surprised that most of these just don't have any information on them. I was going to say that, you know, even though I have a lot of them, I'm a casual blow mold collector in that, you know, my hopes and dreams are not anchored to acquiring any particular blow mold. I'm not as obsessive about the blow molds as I am about some things. So, I mean, it's just for fun. I collect them, like every Halloween I try to buy a few, but I don't get really into all the minutiae of them. I'll make sure you can see the top of them there. So that's why I can't, like with an action figure, I can tell you exactly what company made it and when, and it can go into all of these other directions. With these blow molds, they're just cool objects. I just buy them as objects. They're just cool symbols of Halloween, and I know the different ones that are out there for the most part. Although I discovered this year that in Canada they had these huge 2-foot tall blow molds, very much like this style of you know, sculpture with like a pumpkin on top and something below it. The big ones, though, I didn't know that those existed. They were only in Canada, so I'm still learning something new. But this is a different type of blow mold, and we just saw like a character with like a pumpkin head. We saw the little pumpkin head, a couple of little pumpkin heads. Now this one, there's a whole genre of blow mold lanterns that are like this, where they have a pumpkin on the top. He's almost too tall for the screen. There's a pumpkin on top, like this, but then there's something below. It could be a witch, it could be a cat, like this one. It could be a haystack, or just some kind of big stand of some kind. So there's a different category of lanterns that have this kind of look. There's the great pumpkin up here, the big Jacko Lantern head, elevated by something down here, instead of like a body, or instead of just the head by itself, pumpkin by itself. There's some other character or something down here that's like holding it up. And usually so this is Trick on the bottom. And if you can see it, because it's not painted, it says Treat down there. I don't know if get the light reflecting off it just the right way. Maybe you can see it. It's not painted. It's an indentation, but it's not painted. So it says Treat on the back. It says Trick or Treat. You can see the cat. Just imagine that's Billy. That'll be the stand-in for Billy this episode. It looks like Billy. What else can I say about this? Well, anyway, I was going to say they don't make stuff like this anymore, but that's not true because a lot of these have been reissued. They don't make, I'll say this, they don't make original stuff that's not trying to imitate something from the past. This really, you look at this, and this is Halloween past. This is from a different era, a different idea what Halloween is all about, what it means. And to me, this is Halloween. When I think of Halloween, this is the kind of thing I think of, this kind of imagery. But a lot of this stuff has been reissued and repopped, and the molds have been sold and resold. And so you can find some of these today. They don't look, if you know what to look for, and if you have an original to compare it to, you can tell the difference. The plastic's not the same, the texture's not, the paint, everything's not the same. Sometimes the size isn't quite the same. But they have reissued a lot of these things. And there are copycats that are not exact repops or reissues, but they're sculpted to be reminiscent of the old ones, that at first glance they look like a reissue of an old one, but they're resculpted new designs that are like nostalgia pieces that are meant to remind you of some of this stuff from the past. So you can still find similar things at mainstream stores. Not exactly these, but similar. Now here is another one, similar design. Now this still has this cord. I think this is the original cord. It's all falling apart. It's brown and it has that kind of cruddy, corroded feeling. So this is another one of that type that I was telling you about just now. You have the big head. This is a more jolly looking head. And like it's kind of has that exaggerated proportion to it. And it's got another beautiful little cat down there. Not as beautiful as Billy, but it's got a cute little cat, and it's got a base. The cat's on the base, and the cat's holding up the Jacko Lantern head. Here's the cat. Here's the Jacko Lantern. Wow! Look at him. He's more goofy looking, more cartoony. Let's see if we can see who made him. Now, I think you're going to see this particular one several times. Yes, I can. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why, I bought a quantity of this particular one. And this is an easy one to find. I don't know if there must have been like a warehouse find of this particular style. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I might as well give up trying to figure out who made these things because I can't find the markings on them. But let's just put him over here because let's see, how many do I have? That particular one. Good golly. I have some in this box, but then I have more in another box. It's all the same one, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. It's all the same. So here's just 3. I know I have more. So here's 3 of these little guys, big guys. Ah! And they're all the same. The only difference is condition. Like this one I just moved, it seems to have its original old cord on the back. This one has no cord on the back, and it's kind of faded, but it's got the remnants of a sticker down there. This one looks like it might be in the best condition, maybe, I want to say. I don't know. Maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, it's plastic feels the thickest, and it's just, to the naked eye at least, its color looks very nice. It's very crisp. And I know I have even more than these 3 of this particular style. There might be one more in this box, but there's definitely one in another box. So for some reason, I just went nuts and bought a bunch of the same one. And I didn't buy them separately. I think I bought it all at one time. It was a lot. And when I say a lot, I don't mean many. I mean it was an auction lot. They had like several of them in one lot. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, now this is another one of the trick or treat ones. Is it the same as the one we've already seen? Yep, but this one's more opaque. I mean, the color is better. Yeah, it's darker and it feels thicker. It has a different feel. Just by touching, you can feel it feels different from the other one. So it's probably made in a different year. Same design, but different year. Is this the same one? Yep, same trick or treat one. How many of these do I have? Why did I buy so many of this one? I don't know. There's one like this that I want that I don't have, and this Halloween season I bid a couple of times trying to get one. I didn't get it. I mean, it's very similar to these. I don't know how to describe it in a way that would differentiate it, except that it has a little skull right there, and it's wearing a hat. I don't have that design. It's not hard to find. I just don't have it. I bid on like 5 or 6 of them this Halloween season. I just didn't get one. Didn't work out. Let's see. I'm delaying looking at some of these because I want to try to group like ones together. Okay, so this is kind of similar. Okay, so here's this is cool. I like this one. I mean, I like them all, but I feel like I need to adjust this camera. One moment. Okay, I adjusted the camera a little bit. I don't know if it helped really. I tried to raise it up a little bit. So this one, this is the same style I was telling you about, but it looks a little different. It's got the big Jacko Lantern up here and a character or something holding it up. In this case, it's a witch. Not just a witch, but there's also a black cat. It's like 2 for 1. So you see she's got her cat, and she's a witch. She's a witch and a black cat carrying the great pumpkin. I like, she's got those black eyes. I like that. Spooky looking. So here you have 3 characters in one. The witch, Jacko Lantern, and the black cat. You know, this whole world of Halloween, this little scene. And why is the witch carrying the pumpkin? She's got important witch business to take care of, and she needs the pumpkin. She has to take him to a ceremony. So here we do have information on this one. Let's see here. So exciting to see me go silent and look at this stuff and not say anything for several minutes. Now it's just talking about like UL electrical stuff. Oh, come on. There's got to be a... General Foam. There we go. General Foam Plastics. Made in Virginia, apparently. And a lot of this stuff, if not all of it, is made in the USA. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the ones you see today, but all this stuff, these companies were US based and they made these things in the USA. I was wanting to see if there was a date on this. Can't find it. But this is General Foam. So remember I told you about the different companies. General Foam was one of them. I think this is the first General Foam we've seen. Let's see here. I'm trying to do the orange ones. So I have a whole other box. Don't worry, we got a long way to go. So this one is a very popular, iconic one. And a very expensive one. We'll just leave that like that. Someone put a little bag on her cord. We'll just leave it. Or will we? No, we won't. I don't like that. Let's take it off. Yeah, we don't need that. All right. She's got her cord's all neatly tied up back there. So here is this little witch. She's not very big, but she's very popular, and she's one of the more expensive ones. And I like her a lot. She's really crabby and creepy looking, kind of scary looking. I thought I knew who made this. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, 1981 or 61? That sounds kind of late. No, I think it is 81. 1980. If I'm reading this correctly, 1981, Carolina Enterprises. Yeah, and let's see here. There's a little logo. Oh, Empire. So remember I said Carolina Enterprises and Empire are the same company. So this has both the Empire logo and Carolina Enterprises. If you can see that. It's hard to see maybe. But it's got the Enterprise logo and Empire logo and Carolina Enterprises too. Both companies listed. And this probably is, I think I was wondering, is this 1981? Am I reading that wrong? Is it 61 or something? No, the 81 is probably correct. Because this design, it looks a little more modern. So they kept making these things, I don't know, until probably the early 90s, I guess. I mean, they definitely were making them into the 80s for sure. But she's really cool. So she's a late era one. Most of these that you're seeing are like 60s, you know, when they originated. But this one is originated in the 80s. And she's a cute little mean-looking little crabby witch. I like her a lot. And she is one of the more sought-after ones. One of the more popular ones. Should I put that back in there? I don't know why. No, I'm not going to put that back in there. But I will put it back in this bag. There we go. All right. Okay. Should I? Well, here, let's look at these. These aren't exactly blow molds, but they're kind of blow mold adjacent. They're little candles. Little Jacko Lantern. They're not really candles, obviously. You plug them in, they light up. They're lamps, but they're shaped like candles. Same face on both sides. See if it has a company on this. No. I've seen these several times. These are not that hard to find, these candle things. And I don't know if they originally came in a package, maybe. I'm not sure. All right, let's look at some white blow molds. So this guy, who made this? This is General Foam. General Foam, Norfolk, Virginia. Decorative lighting for indoor use only. So this is a skeleton in a graveyard with tombstone behind him. It's a cloaked, kind of hooded skeleton. This is a cool one. And this is another, I don't know if I would say it's sought after, but just from comments I've read online, it seems like this causes some excitement, this one. And it looks like he has a little friend right here. What is that? It's a little owl. So it's hard to, well, it's easy to miss unless you're looking carefully, but that's an owl. It just looks like it's part of his cloak, but there's an owl right there. Here's his face. I think I've seen some of these that had painted eyes. Oh, this one does. I just had to look a little closer to see it. I didn't see it on the screen there. Yeah, he's got painted eyes. And I like his pose. He's just kind of, yeah. He's got an attitude. He has his hand on his hip. He's like, yep, hey, you know, it's time to go. Your time's up. I'm here to take you away. Come on, let's go. Hey, buddy, your time's up. It's the Grim Reaper here to collect you. So this is a white blow mold. We've just been looking at orange blow molds. This is a white one. I'm going to show you some white ones. Ah, he's a tall, thin one. Very thin. He's cool. Let's see here. There's another ghost. Well, I guess they're all kind of ghosts, the white ones. He's got his cord wrapped around him. Do I want to undo that? Yeah, let's leave it be. I'm afraid to do anything to these. Any information? Nope, of course not. Okay. Here's a nice friendly ghost holding a skull. Ta-da! He's a happy little dead ghost holding another dead person. In fact, you know what I bet is going on here? That's probably his skull from when he was alive. He's probably keeping it like a souvenir. I mean, why not? He's a ghost now, but he's holding his head, you know, that he had in life. You know, it's like his little buddy, his skull. And he can kind of pretend that his brain's still in there. And, you know, if he wants to pretend he's still alive, he could kind of hold the skull up to where his head is. Or you put it, since he's a ghost, he could just put it right there inside of his head and just pretend he's still alive. I mean, it's very versatile when you're a ghost. You're kind of interdimensional. You don't have any physical form. You can do all these different things. That's why he's so happy. He's saying, yay, I'm a ghost. Do you like my head? Now, it looks like he died from a gunshot to the head. Or maybe maybe it was like a stab. I don't know if that's a gunshot because it's kind of long. So maybe someone stabbed him. I don't know. But it looked like he had some damage there. That's probably how he died. So he died. His ghost came out of his body, very happy. And he said, yay, I'm dead. And then his body rotted. And he said, you know, I kind of miss that old head of mine. And so he collected his skull. And now he roams eternity holding his skull. And that's why he's so happy. Yay! Woo! Okay. Put him there. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, here's a very, very iconic one. Did I forget one here? What's this? No. Very iconic one. Here's two of them. The only difference, well, he's made of thicker, more rigid feeling plastic. This one's lighter weight, but other than that, they're the same. The only difference really is condition. This one, the pumpkin's glued on. This one, it's not. And you know, it's not supposed to be glued on. This is someone repaired this and glued it back on. Probably the little stem that holds it on there broke, I imagine. Whereas this is still the way it's supposed to be. So two ghosts holding jack-o'-lanterns. There's also a version that has I think a black cat's head. I think that's what it is. And there might be a skull, maybe. I'm not sure. But I know there's different versions of these ghosts where they're holding different things. But the most iconic one is the orange jack-o'-lantern with the white ghost. And this ghost has been remade. Well, I mean, he's inspired a lot of other products. So there are candles and ceramic versions of him. There's all kinds of different versions of this ghost. It's a very popular design. A lot of people have copied it for different products over the years. Let's see. And also, this guy has inspired other copycat products too, that design. There's a maker's mark. And like I said, people are really hardcore into the blow molds. They know off the top of their head who made each one of these. But, I'm really casual about how I collect blow molds. It's just for fun. I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not going to write a price guide to blow molds or anything like that. I'm not going to write a magazine article about it or anything like that. I'm not going to do a documentary about blow molds. It's just a fun thing. I just like, they're most of them, not all, most of them are cheap. They're lightweight, they're easy to store. I just have these big Rubbermaid tubs and I just throw them in there. And their paint can get scratched, but other than that, generally they're hard to damage. Although looking at some of these, people have succeeded somehow, some way. People have succeeded in damaging them. So I guess you can do it. They fade over time if you use them a lot. With the light bulbs, make them fade. But so this ghost is very iconic. One of the most iconic blow molds, probably. Let me put him back in here. Got one more white one to show you. This is a very unique one. This is really unusual. Let's see here. And so he still has a price sticker from Frank's. I guess that must be like Frank's Nursery. Does he have a maker's mark? No. Nope. He's got shrink wrap on. So I doubt he's that old, really. But he's a white blow mold. So he's got a sculpted back, the skeleton. He's got sculpted bones back here. But the front is flat, and it has a sticker instead. So he's different. And he is meant to have a light bulb in that unusual spot right there. There's a hole for the light bulb to go in. But from the shrink wrap, he was obviously sold individually like this. He's not part of a set or anything. How much was he? $3.59. $3.59 from Frank's Nursery. Well, this is Frank's. I don't know if there's a store that I am familiar with, Frank's Nursery. I don't know if they're still around or not. They're around in the 90s. Maybe they're still around. So I'm assuming that's the same store, but it could be a different Frank's. So he's cool. And look at that creepy head. That face is really creepy. Now there was another white one that I wanted to show you. I don't own it. I was trying to get one in time for the show and I wasn't able to do that. There's a white skull with a candle on top. So it's a big skull. It's got a candle, like a lit candle, like melting on the skull. And there were a couple up for auction, and one had a lot of cracks in it, and I didn't want that one. And I don't remember why I didn't get the other one, but for whatever reason I didn't. And there's a couple more that have buy it now prices on eBay right now that are just ridiculous. They're like $200 or $300. Buy it now. That's crazy. These other two were like $50 each. I know the one had cracks, but the other one didn't. So I think like 50 to 100 is the right price on that. So I don't have it. Maybe when I do the candy pail blow molds next Halloween, I'll tie up some loose ends that I didn't get to this time, and maybe I'll have the skull with the candle next Halloween. Okay, so I'm going to put some of these away and bring out the other tub. But before I do, let's talk a little bit about blow molds. What are these stupid things? Well, they're lanterns. They're meant to like sit in your window or your porch and light up. But how are they made? Why are they called blow molds? The reason they're called blow molds, and this is how they're made. So blow mold plastic is a certain type of plastic, and they put it in, I think it's a metal mold. They put it in a metal mold, and it's soft. And then I've seen videos of this process, but I think there is something that coats it a little bit. I don't think they just drop it in. But there's like a tube that sticks into that plastic and blows it with hot air and blows the plastic into the mold to fill the recesses of the mold. And then when it cools, although I think they pop it out of that mold before it's completely cooled, but they open the mold up and they pop it out. So they have like two halves of the mold. This goopy plastic gets dropped in. This like a pipe with the wind, the air comes out of, sticks down in there into the plastic and blows it and makes it adhere to the shape of the mold. And then they open it up and pop it out. And that's why all the blow molds have the little hole in them. Every blow mold, not just for the bulb to go in, but they all have that little hole. That's where the tube went in to blow the air in. And most of them, where the light bulb goes in, most of those look hand cut, and almost all of these. I think they probably did have like workers at the factory like cut it by hand. They don't look like they're like factory machine cut. A lot of these look like they're hand cut, where the bulb goes in. And I guess they just have the assembly line spraying them with the paint. Usually it's very rudimentary paint, just black. I think all of them. And I can't think of a blow mold that has paint on it that doesn't just have black paint. That skull I was telling you about, that has, with the candle, that has like purple or something. That has some different colors. But almost all of these blow molds are just black paint. They have a spray of black paint on them. So I'm going to, well, I should say also, besides the lanterns, as we've seen in previous episodes, blow mold toys encompassed all kinds of things, not just Halloween novelties. They also had like Easter and Christmas and other holidays also got blow molds, and those are gaining in popularity. And you might have like Christmas, a nativity scene. That's very common, Of course, one of the most famous blow mold items would be the pink flamingos, the garden flamingos. Those are blow mold. And those, of course, caught on to, became a trendy kind of kitschy kind of thing where they started making all these different kinds of flamingos. And they have Halloween flamingos. They have orange and black flamingos, garden flamingos. There's a lot of like beach toys and sandbox toys and pool toys that are made of blow mold plastic. Like the A.J. Renzi Monster Mobile and some other things we'll look at eventually, different figural monster toys that are blow mold. Some are articulated. When I was a kid, I had a bowling set that was all blow mold. So I had bowling pins and a bowling ball. And I remember I just loved that goofy little bowling set. And it had a certain smell. All these things. I lost my sense of smell. I had serious sinus issues, and I had a massive surgery that just carved out my sinuses. And I still have sinus problems. A few weeks ago, I was on steroids and antibiotics for a flare-up with my sinuses. So I have chronic sinus problems. So I lost my sense of smell. I can't smell anything. I have no sense of smell. And that's a shame because in my collecting, smell was always a big deal. I loved smelling like latex mask, like my Topstone mask would all be in a closet. I'd open the closet and this latex smell would come out, like this wave of latex aroma would come out. I love that smell. Things like the blow molds, these have a very particular kind of smell. This kind of plastic has a certain smell that I remember from childhood, and I still have it. Stuff like Imagineering makeup kits, like the vampire blood and all that stuff that has a very unique smell, and you can still, if you put those packages up to your nose, you can still smell them. I can't, not anymore. You can, if you, if you have a functioning sense of smell. I remember all kinds of things from childhood of opening up action figures. I guess the most vivid one was the Colorforms Outer Spacemen. I remember opening those up for the first time and just that PVC smell coming out of those bubbles when they're open for the first time, and I just wanted to eat them. And I think I've said this before, my Astronautilus, I did chew on him. I loved his big bulbous head. I was always gnawing on him. So smell was always a big deal. Opening up a new action figure and smelling that new toy smell. And blow molds have a very particular kind of smell. I don't know that all of them retain them. Some do, some don't. But back in the day when they were new, they had a very particular kind of smell. And so when I think of the blow mold bowling set that I had, one of the first things I think of the texture of the smooth blow mold plastic, but I also think of the smell. I love the smell of that blow mold plastic. And I had other kind of blow mold, like any kind of a child's baseball bat, like a plastic baseball bat, that's blow mold. That's always blow mold. There's all kinds of blow mold toys. But any kind of like toy bat and ball, like a baseball, softball kind of thing, or wiffle ball, that's always blow mold. A lot of kids' sports stuff is blow mold. Or at least it was. Now it's probably more likely like a kind of a foam with some kind of a solid inner core, but when I was a kid, it was all blow mold. And I think a lot of it still is. Okay, so let's pause and put some of these away, and I'll bring the other tub out. I'm back. I've switched out that other Rubbermaid tub for this one. Okay. Now this is still sealed in its factory bag. And this is I think this is a 90s blow mold. Union Products. Let's see. They're based in Massachusetts. Let's see here. Partially filled with sand for stability. It's got a little plug where you can fill it with sand. Isn't this a Featherstone sculpt? I think it is. Well, anyway, this is a giant, I can't even see it, it's so big. Here, let's use this one. This is a giant witch. I think this is a 90s item. She kind of looks like the Wizard of Oz Wicked Witch. And she is a lantern, but I don't think she comes with her own bulb. You have to buy your own to stick it in there. So she's really cute. I like her. I don't have a lot of the later ones, but I think this one appealed to me. It's a bigger one. So you can see, where is it? There it is. She has a hole where the lantern would go in, but she doesn't come with the lantern. She does, so right here is where you're supposed to, I guess, fill it with sand to get stability. It's got a little plastic cap right there. You can see the cute little Jacko Lantern. So this is interesting. Let's take a look at her. Can you see her? So she's on her broom, but she's also on the Jacko Lantern. The end of the broom's up here. The Jacko Lantern's here. It's a neat design. I think that I think there's an older version of that sculpt, and that's like a re-release or a later version. I could be wrong. I think there might be an older version of that sculpt. Okay, this is the candy pail for next year. Let's see here. All right, let's do this guy. Here's another character. Remember we had the Scarecrow, the Pumpkin Man. Now here's a similar one. And this is made by Gregg Products, Gregg Products. So that's a new one. I'm not familiar with them. So this is another Pumpkin Man, but this one, instead of being a scarecrow, I think, I mean, he's just a pumpkin man. He's almost like a witch. He's got the witch's cap. So instead of a scarecrow, I think he's a living pumpkin. He's a pumpkin man. He's a pumpkin witch. He's got a jacket and a witch's hat. So he's more like a spooky, tricky little pumpkin guy. Supernatural pumpkin man. With his little witchy hat. So he's another character. Kind of like the Scarecrow we saw. And there's this hole to the lantern. And as I was saying, they've all got this. They have a little hole in the bottom. That's where the tube goes in to pump the air into the plastic. And I hope, now, you know, he must be a scarecrow because look at his feet. He has straw feet. His feet are made of straw. You can see the sculpt. So he is a scarecrow. But Gregg Products, I mean, that's a new one. I've never heard of them. Okay, well, let's look at this. I was talking about bats a while ago. This is a Noisemaker, a Halloween Noisemaker, because it's got, you know, you can shake it, or you can hit someone over the head with it. But it's looks like a knobby little wooden bat. You know, it's like you took a branch off a tree and kind of sort of carved a bat out of it, and then put a skull on the top. I mean, it's almost like something Negan would have. So here's the skull on the top. Spooky little skull. You can see the knobby wooden bat. Very knobby looking. But it's definitely a bat. It's not just a stick or a log, it's a bat. It's got this skull attached to the top. And who made this? Okay, is there a maker on this? And there are a number of things like this. This is not that unique. There are a number of Halloween bats. And also there's stuff like the Mad Balls and knockoff Mad Balls and gross out toys from the 80s. There's a lot of blow mold stuff from that genre that's similar to this. So of course I'm not going to find a maker on it. But this is a really interesting, I mean, that skull, the sculpt on that skull is just really unique and scary looking. Very serious looking skull. Oh, this is interesting. What is this? Well, it's stamped 49 cents. And I'm not sure what the rest of that is. I thought maybe it was a date, but I don't think so. It's definitely got a price on there, 49 cents. Okay. Well, since we're on a theme, let's look at this. Let's look at Noisemaker. So we're getting off the topic a little bit. These are not lanterns. These are noisemakers. Now this might be Topstone, because I know they did make a, if it's not, then Topstone did make one just like this. I think it was Topstone. So let me, it's big. So it's another noisemaker. You can see how long that is. It's wood. So, whoa. And there's the skull. It's a big skull. It's large. It's very big. This is not some little, handheld thing. This is a big, substantial skull. It's really cool. Kind of scary looking. I think this is Topstone. I'm not sure. How did I do this? I had some clever, weird way of putting this on here. There we go. All right. Do we have another noisemaker? Yes, we do. Okay, so this witch came in different styles. This is another noisemaker. Oh, she's a little, I don't want to shake her too much. She's coming off her stick. Should be careful not to shake these. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Bayshore, New York. Bayshore Inc., New York. So, and this witch came in a variety of styles. This is obviously is a handheld noisemaker. And there's also one that goes into a cauldron. It has a black cauldron, it sticks in the cauldron. But they're not the same. This is a wooden dowel for a handle. The other one is different. I think it's the same head, but it's connected to something different. There she is. That's Bayshore. And this is a classic piece. It's not hard to find, but it's a classic, iconic Halloween, vintage Halloween piece. There's a bug crawling on my hand. I wonder if it came out of this tub. See, if Billy were here, he'd be jumping around trying to get it. Okay. So again, not hard to find, but still a very iconic piece. What else we have here? Okay. Oh well, we'll save that. Let's I have a pair of these. These are, I think, later. I think these are contemporaneous with that big witch, because the decals are very similar. Union Products. Yeah, it's got a very similar decal to that big witch. Probably came out at the same time. So here's an owl. So it's orange, so it must be Halloween, but I've seen this owl in different colors. I don't think it was only marketed for Halloween. But this particular one is orange. And it's interesting that it has a bail, a handle, but why? It's not a candy pail. There's nowhere to put candy in. It definitely has a hole for where the light would go in. Woo-hoo! And I have another one. They're identical, as far as I know. Right? Are they? Looks like it. So I have both of these. I have two of these owls. Woo! Yeah, and they're orange, so they're for Halloween, but the sculpt almost looks too natural. Yeah, I'm thinking that it wasn't originally intended as a Halloween product, and I know I've seen these in different colors, like brown or something. So I don't think they're only marketed for Halloween. I think they're like multi-purpose. They could be for Halloween, or you could use it just as a decoration or whatever. And I could even see it being Thanksgiving if it's brown. It's like fall, you know. But, you know, these are in orange, so they're for Halloween. And there's blow molded black cats. And they're the same thing. I don't think they're specifically for Halloween, although they can be, because I've seen them molded in different colors besides black. And they don't look Halloween-y. They look like someone wanted to make a sculpture of a cat, like a cute, happy, you know, kitty cat. And then they said, well, how do we market this? We could make it black for Halloween. Or we can make it orange or brown or whatever. White. You name it. Okay, so since we saw an owl, let's stick with the owls, I guess. Where's my other owls? Is that the other owl? That's the other owl. Okay. Now this is another one of the most iconic, sought-after Halloween blow mold lanterns. This owl, and this one as well. We'll see that one in a second. But this owl is one of the most sought-after ones. I think the light bulb came loose and it's rattling around inside of here. So this is a beautiful Halloween owl. So see how this is different from the owls we just saw? This isn't just an owl, this is a Halloween owl. It's obviously made for Halloween. It's meant to be scary and caricatured, and it accentuates the elements that are appropriate for Halloween, like the big eyes. And it's just black, whereas those other owls had different colors. This is just black on orange. This is a Halloween owl. And that rattling is the light bulb. The light bulb's rattling around inside of him. He is perched on a log. That's a log right there. So his claws are perched on this log. Woo! So he's a cool, scary, creepy Halloween owl. This is one of the most sought-after blow molds. None of these blow molds are that expensive, but there are a few that are like $200 or $300. I think he's like a 100 plus, you know, 100 or 200. Most of the ones I'm showing you are like $50. They're all around, you know, 40, $50. Almost all of these things. But then there are a few that are like a 50 to 100, and then there's like 100 to 150, and then there's some that are like the 200 or 300 range, or a little more, 350. As far as I know, there's none that are like 1,000 or thousands. There's nothing like that, I don't think. But the one I'm going to show you is this next one's one of the expensive ones. So that's an expensive one, that owl. Although I didn't pay much for it. I didn't pay much for any of these. Because like I said, I'm a casual collector of these blow molds. I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars for a blow mold lantern. Blow mold something else, okay, but not a lantern. All right, let's see here. So here's another owl. This owl is on top of Jacko Lantern. And remember how we were looking at the ones that had the Jacko Lantern on top and some other character holding it up? This is different. It's got the Jacko Lantern on the bottom and another character sitting on top of it. Because the owl just has that attitude. It's going to conquer the Jacko Lantern. You know, it's not going to play second fiddle to a pumpkin. The owl is the more important being. He's going to take charge and stand on top of the Jacko Lantern. And this is he's a very stylized owl, but he's also a very scary Halloween-y owl. He's got like almost reptilian bumps on his head. That's a very scary owl. While you're looking at that owl, I didn't check on who made this other owl. Let's see here. You just go look at this owl for a while I check this out. Nope. There's no maker's mark on this owl. Okay. I think a lot of these, the company information was a sticker that's, you know, come off over time. So here's the back of this owl. And I love how he's got leaves. The pumpkin has leaves sculpted onto it. That's a nice little detail. Okay, so who made you? And the plastic's very substantial, very thick, heavy plastic. Any maker's mark? Of course not. Ha 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 ha. Of course there's not a maker's mark. Okay. Don't know. Don't have a maker's mark. But he is cool. He's creepy and spooky. I mean, the pumpkin too, the whole thing. The whole thing is just a creepy, spooky, cool blow mold. All right, let's put him back in here. So both these owls are expensive. You know, both these owls go into the 3-digit range. Let's see. I'll show you this one. This, I think, is a scarecrow. Yeah. It's a scarecrow. So another character. You know, I was just talking about these, no, it doesn't have, it's got a sticker on it, but sticker doesn't have the company name. Can't believe these things don't have any company information on. So here's another scarecrow. And this one's somewhat expensive. I mean, a little, not too bad, but he's a little more expensive than usual. You'll probably have to pay up a little bit for this one. Oh, I mean, there was one on eBay not long ago. I don't think it went for that much. But sometimes he does go for a little more. He's pretty cool. He's a very, you know, he's much more realistic scarecrow, not the more, you know, living pumpkin man kind of look, but he's more an actual scarecrow. Still, though, he has a jack-o'-lantern head. And down here, he's got a little jack-o'-lantern down there. That must be like a gourd, a tiny little pumpkin. I'm not sure when I stick my head around the side of these toys if the camera focuses on me instead of the toy. I don't know what the autofocus is doing there. And he's got the straw, like his feet are made of straw, and his hands look like they're gloves, but you can see sculpted straw coming out of the sleeves. So there's a lot of sculpted straw around the head. There's a lot of detail. A lot of detail in this one. Very detailed. Very, very detailed. I told you about the sticker on the back. There's the sticker. But it doesn't give the company information. So that's an unusual sort of a pumpkin-headed scarecrow. A little different. I guess he must have been in 2 bags. This one's in 2 bags. We're accumulating debris on the table here. Okay, this is different. Here's one of those pumpkin heads on top of something else, but this one is on a what do you call it, a bale of hay, you know, a kind of a bound stack of straw. He's got a witch hat. So he's neat. I like him. And there are some versions of this don't have these vertical lines. They just have the horizontal line. And he's a cool one. He's got a hat. I like that. So the one I don't have, it has a hat kind of like that, although I think it's more of a top hat, flat on top. And he's got he's got a skull. And he has some symbols, I think. Like, you know, Halloween, like a witch or a black cat or a bat or something on the base. That's the one I don't have. I'll have him next year. Like I said, when we do the candy pails, we'll catch up on the ones I didn't have this year. Oh, this is Empire. This is Empire. And he's got the Empire Plastic Corporation logo. Empire is good about branding their stuff. So he's got a sticker here, and also there's imprinted logo down there. So that's another classic one. He's got some fading. So you see how he's kind of lighter colored right there? That's fading because the light bulb inside fades the color over time. But it kind of gives some of these character. It gives them it kind of flatters some of these, the fading, as long as it's not too bad. It's because there's no paint except for just the black paint. It's not like you do different tones of color. So when there's a little bit of fading, that kind of helps bring out some character, almost like instead of one color paint, almost like they did another spray of a different lighter color. So inadvertently, it kind of helps in some cases. Adds texture to the color. So I don't mind a little bit of fading, as long as it's not too bad. A little bit of fading can add character. I don't know why I've got some of these double bagged. He's not a particularly expensive one, so I've got that very expensive owl just single bagged, and I've got that one double bagged. Now these are toys. These are dinosaurs. I'm gonna put them over there. They have to go somewhere else. Let's see what else we got here. Did I just look at him? Oh, now we'll say that one for last. Let's see here. So we're not going to look at the dinosaurs. We'll save that for the blow molded toys episode. All right. Well, he's really good shape. Wow, he's got the piece of paper still on his cord. So it's another one of these. Like I said, I had lots of this style. Let's see here. Halloween lighting decoration with bulb. So this is the original cord. Bayshore. Oh, so see, that's why a lot of these things, even the information is on a little piece of paper like that. That's why it's hard to figure out who made them, because if that piece of paper disappears, as it will over time, then you don't know who made it, because they don't put the information on the plastic. It's on a little piece of paper. But that tells me it's made by Bayshore. So thanks to that little round piece of paper on the cord, so the cord can get misplaced and then the paper can get misplaced. Look how it's still round. Can you see it there? Look how that cord is still round. That is like factory fresh. Yeah, that's never been used. That's about as unused as you can get. Okay. This one. Oh, this is another pumpkin man. Okay. Yeah, this is another of my favorite one. Look out now. He's made by Empire. Another one of the Scarecrow, Pumpkin Man Scarecrows. You can see that he's faded and he's not. So that's what I was talking about. So he's definitely faded. He's not. And this one's also very dirty. He's dirty and he's very clean. Hello, ma'am. How do you do? He's wishing you a good day, tipping his hat to you. Now I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm wondering if that white plastic thing is original, because, well, I'm sure it is, but I'm wondering, does that mean he's a much later one? Because I'm sure this stayed in production a long, long time. And this, well, you know, I was going to say this doesn't have it, but it's got glue. Something was there, so I think it did have a piece of plastic like that, because there's glue around the edge. It's like indented, like something, like in the mold sculpt, it has an indentation where something was supposed to go, and there's glue there. So it probably did have something like that at one point. Do I dare try to plug that in? I might. We'll put him over here. Both of these probably should be in the same box. Okay, let's put you over there. Okay, so I think that's showing you everything except this last one. Let's see here. So this is probably the most sought after Halloween blow mold lantern in the hobby. I don't know if it's the one that sells for the most, but it's the most sought after one. This is usually the centerpiece of people's lantern collection. And it is made by Empire. It's so convenient because I can see the Empire logo from here. I don't even have to look for it. This is the haunted house. Empire's haunted house. Look at that. What a crazy blow mold. I mean, this has got those weird angles and everything. It's so detailed. this is a pretty cool blow mold. I thought mine had a crack somewhere. Doesn't it? Last time I looked at it, I couldn't find it. I thought there was a crack in it somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't see it. But now that I look at it closely, there are bats in the tower. There's a bat up here and a bat in the window. I wonder what else I can find if I look at it. Is there anyone looking through these windows? No, but there's like a kind of texture in the window. A hole in the roof. There's a lot of detail on this thing. On the sides. Anything, any tombstones or any other stuff on the roof? Oh. Aha, there is something. Is that on the front too? No. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, let's just talk about this. So this is just highly detailed. Look at the stairway and all the the texture in the windows and the doors. And then I was looking at, so there's a bat in this window up here, and then there's another bat on the roof. There's bats flying around. Just look at all that texture and detail. Every window has texture in it. And there's bushes on the base. But what I thought was really interesting is in this door back here that's not painted, there's a back door, there is a ghost. There's a ghost, and I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, probably not. But, where is it? Yeah, there is a ghost in the doorway. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. To the naked eye you can see it, but I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. But in that door back there, there's a round head with like a sheet, kind of draped body, and he's kind of like, the posture is kind of like that, and it's got, you can see the sheet coming down, the round head in the door back here, standing in the doorway. So there's a ghost in the doorway, but it's in the back door. The front door doesn't have anything like that. The front door is closed. The front doors are closed. But it's really cool. I mean, the shutters are falling off, and there's a hole in the roof. It's just a neat, spooky little house. It's just a cool thing. So this haunted house is probably the most sought after Halloween blow mold lantern. So you can find it for a couple $100, but it can go up into the 500 range. That's not unheard of. Sometimes it'll go for 200 or 300. Hopefully that's what you would pay for it, but be prepared. It might go into the 500 range. So I thought mine was cracked. I think what I probably was thinking of is where the bulb goes in. There's a kind of a crack there. That's probably what I was thinking of. I don't even know if you can see it, but like the hole's uneven though. There's one part of the hole that's kind of pushed in. That's probably what I was thinking of. I thought there was a crack up here somewhere, but I don't see it. Nah. I don't think there is. Nope. Nah. I was probably thinking of the hole where the bulb goes in. So, in this one, I was wondering if this was correct because it's got that big hole in the bottom. But I've seen other ones on eBay and they all have that hole in the bottom. So I don't know if there's some that don't have that, but the other ones I've seen have that. They have the big hole like that. I don't know why. It looks factory cut. It's not something where someone cut it themselves. But you can see, because of that, you can see the bulb in there. You can see how things work. A little bulb stuck in there. Not sure why it's cut like that. All right, so that's that. That concludes our exploration of Halloween blow mold lanterns. So I'm going to see if I can set up something where we can see them lit up. So we'll cut away, and then we'll come back and probably have some lights off, and hopefully without burning down the house, we'll see what some of these look like lit up. There you have it. It wouldn't have been practical to try to do this for all of them, but you can see with these three, these are excellent examples of what this is all about, what they look like. So thank you again for watching, and hopefully we'll have one more regular episode for Halloween with the old lantern pumpkins, and we'll have the big giveaway drawing. So watch out for that. If you haven't entered the contest yet for the giveaway, please remember, look for that video and like, subscribe, and comment on that video to enter the giveaway for the Tord Johnson Don Post mask or the NECA Halloween 3 action figure set. Your choice if you win the giveaway. Thank you again, and remember, till next time, the one who dies with the most toys is dead.